one of the questions I had was, is the yoga teacher training only for people who want to be certified and who plan to teach yoga?
Not necessarily, because a lot of people want to go deeper into their own yoga practice. So sometimes I have doctors who take teacher training, and their goal is not to really become a yoga teacher, but they want to improve or deepen their own yoga practice. They want to learn more about pranayama, learn more about Ayurveda, or learn more about modifications of the poses. So it is a wonderful knowledge that can be used to help others as well as to help yourself.
So have you found that there is an increasing number of people who are also coming to the class in terms of a vehicle for self-growth? Because that's really what I was interested in. Yeah,
I think your yoga journey begins with when you start to do a little bit of self-reflection. For some people, that self-reflection may come in the form of physical wellness. For other people, it may assume the form of your energetic wellness. People become conscious of how their energy is flowing or how their energy is being depleted. So those are two ways. And then, if people want to improve their meditation and they find that their mind is very active, sometimes just doing a physical yoga practice will help them to sit longer or be more stable as they pursue their meditations.
So is that something that's taught in the yoga teacher training? Is there a component for furthering one's meditation? Is that part of the program?
We do learn some of the meditation techniques during our training. The Thratak is one of them, in which you are focusing on a candle, and we practice that. The training also helps people who struggle with sitting, who want to sit on the floor, and they can't sit on the floor. So some modifications to make them be comfortable if they're sitting for extended periods in meditation.
So speaking about meditation, what about people who come from, let's say, like a religious background, that, a formal vehicle of meditation isn't necessarily something that they resonate with? Or let's say they're coming from they have their own path already. They have their own spiritual path, but they are drawn to yoga. How would you address those people that want to explore that world but don't want to maybe betray the teachings that they're already immersed in?
That's a beautiful question. I like that question. I think a lot of people have that in the back of their mind, because a lot of people think that yoga comes from India or from Eastern background or it has its roots in Vedas, and people think that it's if they start doing yoga, they're going to become Hindus or they will have to. It's not that. And one way of understanding that is that there is religion and then there is spirituality. I see religion as an exoteric practice, as a physical expression of some communities who believe in common founder or have some rituals or some practices at the physical level, or go to a certain type of place of worship. Whereas spirituality I see as your own personal practice. You may call it meditation, you may call it self-reflection, you may call it connecting to your higher self. And yoga is a lot about your personal growth. Yoga does not interfere or should never interfere with anybody's personal belief system. It is all about connecting to yourself. The word yoga means union, togetherness, or joining. And what are you joining? You're joining, really connecting to your own true self. The problem is we are all living at such a superficial level most of the time that we just don't give ourselves enough time to go within.
Right.
And yoga is really stop all of this this stimulation that we are receiving from our senses, and go within and connect to. There is this other smaller voice. There's this quiet space within you that you want to connect to. So no, to answer your question, no, it will not interfere with your belief system, with your practices that you have. It's just going to help whatever practices you have. Does that make sense?
It does. And it is a valid concern, because we always want to be respectful of whatever path that we're on. And I do know that several people hesitated before they got involved, and including myself, because you do want to honor wherever you're at. But there is, even for myself, even a longing to just try and mend physically. I know that there's other avenues other than just Western medicine. And, part of a lot of people's call to yoga is that bridging between the physical and the mind. And I was curious, does a yoga teacher training kind of delve a little bit deeper into that than just coming to a weekly yoga class?
You mean physical practice of yoga?
Yeah, physical practice, but the connection between healing the body in an alternative way, like alternative healing, instead of just, not that there's anything wrong with Western healing, but there's so many different types of people. There's so many different forms of healing, or returning to well-being, whatever word works.
Yeah, so if you are, I think a lot of imbalance in the body happens because there's a lot of imbalance in the mind. And we are living at a time where we have just constant stimulation. The minute we open our eyes in the morning and get out of bed, we are bombarded. Back in the days, we would get up and look outside the window and look at nature. But now we get out of bed and look at our phones and see all the messages and WhatsApps and emails and all the other things that we have access to through our phone. The whole world right there. So there is a lot of stimulation happening. When you come to a yoga class, it is asking you to leave everything outside and be with yourself. When you are in yoga class, you are in connection with yourself. And you are in teacher training, you are constantly practicing that, where you are removing yourself from wherever you have been in the world physically, and then bringing yourself to a place of togetherness, a place of yoga within yourself. So that helps heal, and that connection, I think once we have that connection with ourselves, then all kinds of, the physical abuse that we do to our bodies, we take our bodies for granted. We don't pay attention. That's the reason why we overeat or we do things that are not good for us, knowingly. To live in this age and abuse our bodies is, I don't think, acceptable at all. No one can say, oh, I didn't know any better. Why didn't you know any better? Google is there, Siri is there, and we have wonderful help from all over the world. So it is the burden to take care of ourselves is on us. And yoga helps us to come to that place where we take responsibility for ourselves. Answer is not in a pill. Most of the time it is not. Answer is not there. Answer is how we are living on a day-to-day basis.